Well, hello again. You're looking at the mighty edge of the Northwest Desert and the Pacific Cascades. This is Spokane, Washington, where my mother spent a few years of her childhood when my grandpa Sidney was in the service in World War II. And at the time, this was the main airport there. This is Phelps Field in Spokane. And this is a very crowded ramp right here. It plunked us down here. And as you can see, this is the vFlyte Air Piper Twin Comanche PA-30. And as somebody else described it, it is just out, and somebody else described it as, "I love this so much, I want to marry it." And I've been flying it a bit, and I can't say I disagree. It is a magnificent plane, made all the better because Rush over at Aerosimgaming, or whatever name you want to call him, Rush or Aerosimgaming or Alan or whatever, has been tweaking the airfoils and flight model, and I believe it is going to be incorporated into the next service release of the plane. But it was, as he said, it was pretty damn good to start out with and was just a pleasure to fly. Myself, in real life, I'm learning how to fly on an Arrow, which is a complex aircraft in the sense that it has varying pitch prop and retractable gear. This airplane is like its older great uncle. This is the twin-engine version of the Comanche, which of course was very popular in its time. And you can tell it's Comanche by the kind of late 1950s era cockpit dashboard. The later Pipers have a glare shield and a little bit of padding on them and things like that. These guys, they were pretty straightforward about it. If you were going to crash, they would just look at the metal dashboard here, hose it off, and sell it to the next guy. But also, unlike the Arrow, which has most of these controls, magnetos and so forth, right about here, and has an autopilot right about down there. This has the autopilot front and center, and the engine controls right here. Other than that, it is, in a sense, classic Piper. It's got the trim right up here, which is magnificent. I've never used that in real life. The Arrow I'm trying to fly has got electric trim, which is great. So this is not a flight test in the real world sense of it. I don't know enough about airplanes to pass judgment on it, but I know enough about fake airplanes to maybe be a little bit helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this on a flight, and we're going to fly it into a very challenging airstrip that Rush flew into, just about 150 miles up the Spokane River from here. I cannot pronounce it, but it is spelled like it's pronounced Stehekin State. But before we do anything else, let me just make sure the parking brakes are set, because I've made that mistake more than once. The other thing I'll do here is just get us set up, turn on the master switch. We'll plan out the flight in a minute. I've set it up so that it does not have altitudinous challenges, which, as you'll see on the chart, there are plenty. We're going to fly up a river valley, which will help us a lot. I'm just going to turn on the nav light, turn on the beacon. Some of the sounds here are great. Some of the sounds are improvised. vFlyte Air took the sounds from one of their Piper Arrows or Cherokees and doubled it and stuck it in here, and it works pretty well. This is the first one of their planes that has been optimized for X-Plane 11, and it's pretty slick. I'll tell you that much for free. At any rate, let's just Get our levers working, and they are. It's got this little gadget here, and it's got checklists and all that. Since all of this stuff is off, we're going to leave that as it is. So dismiss that and go right to weight and balance. Let's put some lives at stake here. Also, I want a little bit more of a rearward CFG. So let's give us some fuel. And we'll give us, first of all, I'm more than 170, so let's just be honest here. I'm 204. I'm 6'5", so I'm not that I'm complaining. All right, 203. I'll be optimistic here. Give our co-pilot, let's just pretend it's my dearly beloved, the Quail, and so she is about there. Haven't picked her up lately. And we'll put a couple of people in the back. One female, one male, I suppose. Left, right, pretty much evens itself out, and that's just about at our max here. You notice how it increases the weight envelope for tip tanks, so it takes all that into account. It's really quite good. All right, we'll throw a little bit of luggage in the back just to bring the CG back a little bit. We're over the line there. All right, there we go. We're kind of loaded for bear here, and it's going to be tough to get in where we're going, but that's what makes fake flying so much fun. All right, we're going to skip our checklist, skip all the rest of that, make sure our parking brake is set. We will just prime, and the way I do it in the Aero is on a day when the engine's cold, I just go, oops, let's see, master cylinder on, it is. Not getting a fuel pump sound. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, done. And this one, 1001, oops, that's the mags, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. I should be checking for fuel pressure over here, but there's no fuel pressure gauge. There's a fuel flow gauge, and to do that you have to turn on the avionics. And let me just scooch over here. Scooch a little closer, children. Don't make me tell you again about the scooching. I can't resist doing a little Christopher Walken. Let's just see if we get any fuel flow. We don't. Let's see if we get it on this side. Yeah. No. All right. We'll just let that be for the moment, and let's just see empirically if it worked. So we'll bring the throttles to about 1/2 inch, and we'll bring the mixture to right about there, and we'll crank the right. Turn on our beacon. It is on. That's good. No. Duh. Hang on. Let's try that one more time. Now, let's try it. There we are. All right. Ooh, yikes. There's our man-handed co-pilot. This does not do one thing that the A to A Cherokee does, which is have the slipstream blow the door shut. In fairness, I'm not sure whether it would, because of where it's located in a single-engine plane. It definitely does, but we'll see. All right. Give it a little more go juice right there. There we go. There we are. Alright, we're good there. So we're going to try out a bunch of things on this plane. Let's see where we're idling. We're idling a little fast here. We'll just slow us down. Idle at about 1,000. There we go. Get all the juices flowing here. Give it a little bit more. That should do it. I'm just doing it by ear here to see if it feels like it's dying. And let us see what else we can do. Notice how these things pop out. That is very nice. Trace an altitude. That's done. And I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use my secret weapon here, which happens to be the Garmin GTN 750. And we'll go to the flight plan here. We're going from Phelps to... Now, here's what we're going to do. So we warm up here. To avoid terrain and to make it nice and scenic, we are going to climb on out of here. We're going to sort of bypass downtown Spokane. Kind of hit the Spokane and then it's the Chillin River. And we're going to do a little chillin'. It's actually Lake Chillin. And so this would, oh, this is the Columbia River, okay, that goes past here. All right, now I see where we are. And we are going to go on a very scenic route here. We're going to go past the trailer park there and a marina, obviously two scenic places, past 7 bays, and that is very scenic. But more than that, we're going to go, just clear this out here, past Franklin D. Roosevelt Lake. And the reason why it's named after Franklin D. Roosevelt is because under his administration, under the New Deal, we in this country built the Grand Coulee Dam, which was an amazing achievement. So we're going to fly to Grand Coulee Dam, and then we're going to cut across here to the lake, and then instead of following this route, which is going to basically get us into the mountains, what we'll do is we'll follow the lake up to our airfield here. And our airfield here is quite a challenging strip here. Just show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is what the landing looks like. We'll just quickly mute the audio on this, if I can figure out how. Alright, no patience for that. Let's fix it this way. Alright, so this is what an approach to the airport we're going into looks like. Okay, so that was like 6 landings for the price of 1. The click, click, click sound you heard was the pilot furiously manipulating his electrical trim, and the nervous sound you heard was the guy sitting in the right seat. But let's see if we can see a better landing here. This looks like another Cessna coming in. This one appears to be dragging it in a bit, which is what you probably need to do, just a little. And it's maybe just a touch windy, too. Look at him, he's like suspended right there. Look at that. That's a lot of wind coming at him. Nonetheless, very nicely executed. So, all right, we're going to aim for that, and we're kind of in an airplane that's probably a bit too big, but there you go. This is mainly to test out the airplane, and mainly just for the pleasure of flying through here. I just made a bunch of ortho scenery, and we're going to do it up right. So let's see, our first waypoint is going to be 73 WA, so let's get that sucker in there. Better than that, let's do this. Let's get our audio back on. Alright, here we are. 73 WA. No matches found. Alright, well that's never good. So let's see how we can do that alternatively. I can't say trailer park, that's not going to do it. But what I can do, let's see, is there a fix I can get a radial off of? Yes, there is. Okay. So let's do Spokane, and then we'll do the 280 radial off of Spokane. So we'll do GEG. Okay. And I confess I don't know how to do a radial here on the 750. So what we'll do is we'll tune it up and we'll do it. We'll do it in VLOC mode. So do it that way, and then see if we can get 3W7 on there. If not, we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. There's Grand Coulee Dam. Okay, we're good there. And from there, we will go straight to S10 if they've got it. S10. Okay, that's go. And from there, we'll go to 6S9. I'll bet you they don't have this. Ah, they do. All right, so do is we'll tune this up first of all. Look at how nice this is, and we'll get a 280 radial set up. I believe this is set up for nav 2. There is no nav 1 except on the HSI, so we'll get ready on that. And the other unknown here is the autopilot. I found that it was fighting with my yoke and oscillating, but we'll see what we can do with it. Bring the heading bug around. Get our ATIS for here. We'll use this too. Waypoint info, frequencies, ATIS. And
Belts field information Quebec. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind 240 at 6. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 29. Dew point -6. Altimeter 2985. Arriving runways 22 right, 22 left, 22 center. Departing runways 22 right, 22 left, 22 center. Advise on initial contact, you have Quebec.
alright, so Quebec, there we go. And get rid of that. And let's just take a look. We are on both mains, that is good. Let's see where we're going. Just gonna, well, we're squawking altitude already. Cowl flaps, let's just open them up, keep things cool. Looks like our T's and our P's, they are now pretty damn good. That's all fine. And because we're around all these other airplanes, let's just do our run-up right here. After which we're going to taxi up that way, and then that way, and boogie, as it were. Do we boogie? I guess we can boogie. Alright, so, I'm up to 2,000 here. Exercise the props. And do that once more. Okay. Do left magneto off. Drop and back up and right magneto, and there's a drop, and now the right side, left magneto and back to both, and right and back to both, and we're good to go. Set our flaps. These are set and hold flaps. You hold the lever to bring the flaps down. And let's just get our view set up here. And at the moment, we're not going to be autopilot nothing. And we'll just set up here. And at the moment, map. At the moment we'll fly GPS to our VOR, and then you know what let's do for yucks. I don't think this is going to work right because the course right now is slave. Yeah, it's not going to move. Is slave to our GPS as it should be. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. Alright, so we'll fly out of here on 22 right, and well, just have at it here. Do a quick control system check. It's telling me the cabin door is open. I know it's open. I want it open actually for ventilation. And if you fly in, if you fly in many planes, but if you fly in a Piper Arrow and you're in the right-hand seat and you're bumming a ride off of somebody, it is your obligation to lean on the door and keep it open with your shoulders so that you don't roast in the summertime. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend these knuckleheads here are doing their job. This is a kind of adequate representation of Phelps field. Orbix for FSX and Prepared does an amazing version, and I really I wish that existed, because it's a great airport. All right, there's our windsock, and it is behaving as we would hope. And I believe, let's see, where do we taxi from? You know what I could do? Here's something radical. Let me just stop right here. And that's 22 left. It's 22 right. And you know what? In our taxi little scheme here, I do believe we make the same left turn no matter what. So let's do that. I've made the mistake of taxiing down here before, and basically it just gets you to a row of hangars. So let's not do that. Sorry, I was looking down. My headset got snagged on my belt buckle. And don't you hate when that happens? All right. We'll cross 22 left here. There are more runways on the chart than there are on the scenery, so... Man, she's weird. She's weird, too. They're all weird. There's something going on here. Alright, that's nominally the run-up area, but we've done our run-up, so screw that. Come up to the whole short. Well, that was the whole short line. We'll try to shut the door. Okay. And we will get our strobes on. Don't need pitot heats. Get our landing lights on. This is one gripe I've got with this. This is very close to this, so you run into problems sometimes. All right. Fuel pumps, I believe, should be on for takeoff, so we'll turn them on. At least I hope so. If the engine floods, it's my fault entirely. Alright, so we're basically going to depart out of here, and we're going to fly direct to the Spokane. That's clear left and right. Fly direct to the Spokane VOR. The wind is coming straight down the runway. The skies are clear and beautiful. And we'll do this at 6,500 feet, just to stay safe. Alright, rolling in the power. There we go. Airspeed's alive. Okay, gonna take off at redline +5. There we go. And up we go. Positive rate. Gear down, gear up. Yeah, you know, gear thing. And looking good. We'll pitch for 120. Let's do this right now, since we're nice and stable in the climb. We'll go flaps up, accelerate. There we are. There we go, accelerate to 120 and pitch. And now we'll just come down to 25 by 25. Now remember, we're at altitude, so this is going to be a little bit different than on the East Coast, say, because, why, hello. Because of the altitude considerations, and let us check our course here. It's a little misleading because there's no way to plug this in yet to this to turn it into a gauge, and so basically what you see here and what you see here are two different things. Probably, oh, you know why? Because this is, I've got this set for north up and the other one for track up. Let's just clear that up so that, well, doesn't seem to work. But not surprising. I wonder, here, let me disable this for a minute. Pop this up for a minute. And now, oh, it's interesting. That works, okay. But a map menu doesn't work. Alright, well, we're fat and happy here. We're 2,500 away. Oh, I see. This is set for something else entirely. Alright, well, shit. It's too bad we can't disable that, but just continue pitched up, and what we'll do is let's go purely vlog here. So we'll do this. This is just telling me I'm entering Spokane's airspace, and I don't give a damn. We'll set this to vlog. We will spin this around so that we're direct. Assuming I can make it work. Spin it around so we're direct GEG. Alright, there we are. So we'll get going direct to there. And then we will leave there. There we are. We'll leave there on the what did we say? The 280 radial. I'm just cross-checking this with this right here to make sure it still makes sense, and it does. It's climbing at 120. The plane is a pleasure to hand fly. It really is. T's and P's are good. We're at, just bring a little more throttle here. And I've got 6.5 miles to go. And got about 1,000 feet to go on the climb. So again, we're going to hit the station, and then we're going to make a right turn. Just preset the turn right here. Right about there. And let's just see if I can make this work. Alright, so we've got it in pitch and roll. And let's just, oh boy. Alright, hang on. Didn't want to do that. But what we can do, it's supposed to capture pitch we've got. But I'll just do it manually here. Just put it back in here. Pitch us up a little bit. Get us back into that tasty climb we wanted to be in. And also get us in heading mode in 1 second to get us back on that radial. Alright, we'll climb a little bit faster than we thought. I'm going to have to hold altitude in 500 feet. There's no altitude alerter on here. And let's just see where we are. Oh, there are times I hate X-Plane's zoom, and this is certainly one of them. 200 feet away. Alright, so we're actually going to accidentally, I'm just going to get in heading mode now, and we're 100 away. Let's see if this oscillates. It's been oscillating. No, it's okay. It's good. I'll cut in on this radial. And woof. Okay, let's see if it holds altitude. Alright, hallelujah. So now we'll just come in on this radial and alright, there we go. And I've lost it again, and that's my own... Oh, look at it oscillate here. Don't know if that is normal behavior for this autopilot or whether it's just bad behavior on the part of my yoke. And, oh, hello. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, you know, I wonder if it's this. Hang on, let me take out the roll. No, that's the roll channel. It has to be there. Alright. Shit. I may just have to do this by hand. Ooh. That's bad. That's really bad. Let's see whether it'll track to a nav source. It is not navigating us to the nav source, but that's probably my fault. I probably just set this up wrong. So, let's just screw that and just fly the airplane. Retrim us. That left us untrimmed too. Obviously there's a little glitch with my connection between my yoke and my autopilot, and that is entirely my own fault. Let's just, now that we're leveled out, come down to about 23 by 23, lean out a little bit here, chill out a little bit here, and let me just get ourselves squared away. Operating manipulators and flying the airplane is not easy. Okay, that's the radial we want to be on. So let's get on it. And let's get trimmed out. And I see the river valley up there, so I mean we're going the right way. Just a matter of getting the aircraft squared away. Still a little bit rich of lean here. Let's just fix that. And again, everything about this airplane is just a pleasure to fly. So the fact that I'm sitting here with my hands on the throttle and yoke is not exactly a handicap. Just trimming it out, though, is a little bit of a challenge. And again, that's my yoke profile. That's not reflection on the airplane, because it's got a nice degree of stability to it. And as you can see, we're right over sort of the flat desert here. In a second, we'll be back over mountains, as you would expect for Washington State and Idaho. But parts of the Pacific Northwest are desert. It's one of the rare places on Earth that contain both desert and rainforest. And there we go. You see we're coming back in on that radial. Trimmed out just ever so slightly more. And then from there we'll go back to our GPS flying. But let's do this right. Let's actually get on this radial here. So the way you do that with an HSI is simplicity itself. You plunk your lub line, this white line right here, onto the tip of the CDI, and you fly it until it starts to come in, and then at a predetermined distance you make a standard rate turn and turn in on it. And that turn you make will depend on how fast you're flying. Here we come. But if you want to, you can just keep approximating and keeping it on the tip here. You can do a continuous sort of intercept here, as you can see. Or you can make a standard rate turn at a predetermined time, and honestly I don't know how many dots off you want to be depending on how fast you go. But that's something you can determine in the actual aircraft and from experience. So we'll just come in on this radial. And when this more or less corresponds with our heading and this more or less is centered, it means we're more or less on said radial. Just a little to the left of it right now. Just trimming a little more nose down into it. And we're a little bit low on our RIPMs, a little bit high on our manifold pressure. And let's see where we are. Just coming across our course. And from here on in, let's just go back to our GPS course. And I'm just coming back down to 6,500 here too. So again, I'm going to drop the tip of the CDI on the lub line. And you can see that this corresponds, this angle actually corresponds to this, and that's not a coincidence. This is, in essence, a gaugeological manifestation of the visual representation you see on the map. And if you're better at it than I am, then you can actually get a very, very good idea of where you are based on the orientation of that needle. So that is the Spokane River right there. And that is Lake Roosevelt right there. And let's get us back on course right here. I want to get out of this flatland. I'm tempted just to fly along the river right now, but let's stick to plan for the moment. Can always discard it later. A little disappointed that I can't get the autopilot to work right, but it's probably just a mistake on my part. Alright, so here we come on our course, and our next leg is 2. It's very easy to pull a little bit too much on this airplane for some reason. So we're going to Grand Coulee Dam, and we're 42 miles away, and we're 119 miles away from our doom. And now, as you can see, we're just coming right onto our course. And I will say that even though these sounds are improvised, such as they are quite nice. They're quite nice indeed. The scenery is courtesy of Ortho 4XP. It is lovely. It's going to set a course about 5 degrees to our left here. Account for a little bit of wind, I think. How about there? Make some small corrections here. Battery backup on my FiOS. Needs to be replaced. Not about to schedule an appointment. No, maybe not. Maybe actually the wind is just a little bit from right to left. Let's take a look in a second. No, it's from left to right. Okay, so I'll just set up about that. That should keep us on course about 2 degrees to the left as we get blown. Basically setting up a crab angle. And we continue to scan, and there come the mountains. Yeah, maybe it's not much. Little hard to trim out this airplane, and again that's entirely a function of my yoke and how I've got it set up at the moment. It's just a little bit in between things, if you know what I mean. It's in between settings, I guess you'd say. And on the beach, on the Barren, it just settles in nicely on this. It's just a little busy. And so I'm doing a little bit of up and down wandering. You can see if you look at the vertical speed indicator. And again, in spite of what the GPS is telling me, I think that we actually have a bit of wind from right to left, but I could be wrong. All right, let's see where we are. 33 from Grand Coulee. Let's kick it up a notch here. I'm at max power right now, and can lean out even more. So I'm guessing the dam is right about there. That's where the dam waypoint is. Try one more time refining our heading just a little bit. I'm going to try that. So that's, I don't know, 2 degrees. 2 degrees. Let's see if our CDI stays put. And my rudder's probably a little bit out of trim too. And we're creeping up in altitude here. Let's fix that. Do it in a way that I don't have to oscillate a little bit up and down, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. You could probably follow this power line, and I would bet you dollars to donuts it goes straight to the Grand Coulee Dam, because that is, after all, what the Grand Coulee Dam does. A true airspeed of about 150. I'm not sure that's right, but the thing just flies beautifully. It feels so nice. Let's see where we are. All right, we're on course. There's the dam. And again, actually, I'm a few degrees over to the right of course, and it seems to better jibe with the winds as I'm experiencing them than what the GPS is indicating, but who knows? We'll do our best. This is the non-interesting portion of our flight. Hard not to oscillate a little bit in altitude here. Wow, look at that. Our course is basically set down the power lines. We could ignore this and try tracking the power lines and see if it takes us to the Grand Coulee Dam. I will bet you it does. I would wager. If I were a betting man, I would wager. Let's see, just for sanity's sake, we're 21 miles. Yeah, that looks about right, actually, so I wouldn't be shocked. Don't quote me. sitting here trying to unbutton my shirt a notch, and I just realized I've got a lavalier mic on, so I can't do that. It's clipped to my shirt. This part of Washington State and Idaho is where they grow hops for beer. Well, just a little bit to the west, but not too far away. I think there's a lot of wheat here. Fields of wheat. So I spent part of the weekend going to Kennedy Airport, not to fly anywhere, but because it was the only place I could get an interview for the Global Entry Program, which is what you have them investigate you and fingerprint you and interview you, and then you get to take your cocaina and Cuban cigars through customs with impunity, which isn't really true. But you do get to frequently, if they don't do a random check, you get to bypass the customs lines, and also on your domestic travel, get to get expedited TSA inspection stuff. So I signed up for that, and I have to go out to Kennedy to do it. So I took the Long Island Railroad to Jamaica and got on the air train, baby. It was actually pretty painless, but a one-seat ride would be better. A one-seat ride, which is like the holy grail for New Yorkers, is to be able to get on a train in Midtown and get off at the airport, which just ain't happening. Not yet, at least. New York politicians keep promising it, and they do not deliver. Because to deliver would be expensive. And we do want it, we New Yorkers, but we want it for free. Alright, we are fat and mostly happy here. Wish this plane were a little faster, and I'm not sure why it's not, but it could be the altitude. It could be my attitude. But we are on the ball navigationally. We're just hand flying this thing because, I mean, that's part of the pleasure. And, you know, some planes have flight directors. This does not. I'd say I don't miss it, but I do like a flight director. Then again, this means you have to interpret the instrument and fly it accordingly. So it's not the worst thing in the world that could happen. As we approach Lake FDR, there we are. Let's see what this scenery looks like. Could be interesting. All right, is that the dam right there? I wonder. 7 miles away from this airport, which is, I guess, Grand Coulee Dam Airport. Can I see it? Let's see. Yes, it's right there. Alright, well, that helps to know. It just reflexively pulled right there again, which is why we just gained altitude. Alright, on we go in a second to S10. Wow. Very impressive. Just letting the airplane settle here. Let's see what kind of stability it has. Ooh. I'm waiting to see when it picks up speed and then noses up. See how it oscillates. Here we go. It's coming up. Huh. Just hands off here and it's not coming up enough. Alright, well. I was hoping otherwise, but alright. Oh, that's the quail. Hang on a second. Okay, hand flying and texting, probably not a good idea. But worth it. Turned a little too soon. Back on course here. Let's climb back up to 6,500 feet. Try trimming back a little. Trim for the climb. And sorry, I'm swimming all over the sky here, looking at my phone. All right, now we're back on course. A little to the right. Oh, I'm picking up a little wind too. Good. All right. I'm a little bit leery of the fact that the airplane does not seem to have a lot of pitch stability, in the sense that when you let off the controls, it naturally seeks a trimmed speed. I don't notice that, but that could possibly be a function of my my yoke and my setup. So I'm not going to be quick to level any blame. So I'm just going to let it oscillate here and see where it comes down. I think this is my yoke. And so many issues in X-Plane or Prepared or whatever are not necessarily flight model issues, but they are yoke issues. And so I'm just seeing if I can just letting off a little bit on pressure on the yoke. I'm trying to just fingertip it here, and it's drifting a little to the right. Then again, that makes sense. My rudder's a little bit out of trim, and I don't think my trim wheel is set up right. And so, sorry for making everyone sick. I'm just experimenting a little bit with these controls. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick up the lake coming up, like chilling. No, I think this is my controls. This is not the flight model. There is one way to check, but it's gonna, well, what we can do is we can disconnect the yoke. Let me just get it stable and steady. There we go. And disconnect. Alright, so now there's no yoke. Now let's see what the airplane does. I hope it doesn't crash. Alright, so now it's in a climb, so it's going to lose airspeed. I'm just going to try and use, you know, it's pretty goddamn stable. It's going to get a little bit of roll coupling right there with the rudder, keep us level. And now it is going to descend, and it's going to pick up airspeed, and then it will come back up, but it'll do it less. No, I'd say I've got a little bit of coupling with my control, is what I've got. And so I'm going to fix that when I get a moment, but actually, it's pretty damn well behaved. I'm flying now without a yoke. I'm just using my rudder pedals where I can to keep us level. And you can see we're in a fugoid oscillation, which means we're going up and down on the pitch axis, gaining lift as we gain speed, losing lift as we lose speed, and then the oscillations are getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it reaches a trim speed, which is right about there. Look at that. No, this is almost textbook behavior. So clearly the problem is my yoke. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Look at it just fighting me here. That's my own yoke oscillating around. So let's just do this. I'm going to just get us on course here, and then I'm going to dick with the yoke for 1 second. I cut off this nonsense with turbulence. I think that's what's causing it. I will bet you that's what's causing it. It's basically fighting with itself, which you don't want it to do, obviously. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Now it feels much more stable. Now I go hands off the yoke, and it basically does nothing bad. All right, so I think that's our problem. It's the simulation simulates turbulence by making the yoke move back and forth and side to side, and then what happens is it fights with the airplane's flight model, basically. So we'll just skip that, but let's now try and trim ourselves out here. Yeah, now it's magnificent. Now it's wonderful. Wow, I'm flying this with 2 fingertips. Okay. Now we're good. Let's just see where we're going. Alright, we're right on track. And where we're going is into some really nasty mountains. Perfectly okay with being at 7,000 feet, but let's just be politically correct here and go down to 6,500. So I'm going to push us without changing our power into a 500 foot per minute descent and trim for that, and see if it holds that condition. It should. As soon as it settles into it, just get trimmed for it. All right, there we go. So we're trimmed for 500 feet per minute down. Now we pick up speed and oscillate up, so we're just going to have to add a little more pressure. There we go. All right, that's good stuff. So at least now I know what to do and what not to do, and what not to do is enable turbulence in this thing because it's gimmicky. As much as I'd like to feel a little bit of turbulence through the yoke, I don't want to have it fighting. Now I wonder if, let's turn on altitude hold and heading and pitch and bring us back right here, and now I'll bet you it's not going to fight. Now the autopilot works as it should. Look at that. Alright, we discovered something about the Brunner yoke, and that is that the turbulence thing gets into a feedback loop with the autopilot and fights with it. Very cool. See, watch this. We'll do this. We'll turn the turbulence back on and watch this. And now nothing happens. Of course. Alright, well, let's get rid of it anyway. Nothing but trouble. Alright, so in we come into the danger zone. Loading a little scenery here, obviously. Just get that taken care of. And we are right now about to hit this lake. And I think what I'm going to do is, since we're not up high enough, I think I'm going to hug the river. But you know what? Yeah, we're close to it. Let's see how well our autopilot works. So we'll disable head shake here, and we'll pitch up. Come on. Turn off altitude hold and pitch up. This is a real old school autopilot. That's in the way. Have to bind a key to this, I think. Yeah, this is clearly in the way. There we go. That's a reasonable rate of climb. I should turn the prop sync on. It doesn't make differential sound, so I didn't know we were out of sync, but I'm sure we were. Kind of in a cruise climb here, and we will climb up to 8,500 feet. And actually what we will do is we'll just give ourselves a little more propage. There we are. Alright, now the pieces of the puzzle are starting to fit, and that is Lake Chelan. So this is the circuitous route we're going to follow if we wanted to follow it this way. Follow it directly, obviously we've got this. And we've also got a military operating area right here. We're not there yet. But if we wanted to, we could fly through it at 1500 AGL or below. I am guessing that the reason why is obviously to allow people to fly into this airport. Or I suppose if they wanted to blast up this river through the MOA, it's got to be a little bit hairy. And I'm looking at the topography map here. Obviously the safety would dictate we go up to 10.5, but let's go up to 8.5 just for yucks. And and let's see where we are. We're at it. Now, this does not have GPS steering, so I don't think it's really very good, at least in real life it wouldn't be very good at carving these turns. What you would have to do is go into heading mode and grab it, and then go back into a navigational lock mode. But the way they simulate it, who knows? Maybe it'll work. But in real life, you would have two modes here. You might have a nav mode or a beam mode, high and low. Then you'd have GPSS, and GPS steering is an add-on to your software and hardware and autopilot to basically allow you to make predictive turns based on GPS paths, I guess. I'm describing it poorly, but it lets you carve those nice patterns in the sky and do flyby waypoints and so on that a regular autopilot will not let you do. I'm just monitoring our airspeed here so we don't fall out of the sky, and we're not going to. So if we had GPS steering, we would nicely carve this thing. Let's just see what X-Plane's autopilot does with this. I mean, this is not flying a fancy pants. Let me just get the altitude hold in here in 1 second, like right about here. Doesn't do fancy pants sort of anticipatory turns and things, but wow, I believe we're going right into there. Holy frijoles. But in a real plane, you would, on an old plane like this, you would spend an extra 5-10 grand and put in GPS steering, because it enables you to take advantage of all the things in your Garmin, like loss approaches and things like that, and presumably range to fix sort of like curved segments and things, and it's pretty slick. So, you know, we'll see how old school we are here. I should really call up AWOS to see if there is an AWOS here. Oh, it's alerting us to the MOA. That's very slick. Which is right at that corner right there. You see how we're going to nick the end of it? If we really wanted to, we could fly along the river and avoid it. I'll bet you it's set up deliberately to avoid that river, possibly for that reason. I don't know. There are some other military operating areas that include rivers and things like this, because they want their pilots to train in nap of the earth flying, and some of that includes blasting down river valleys, which is just good, clean fun. All right, let's just bring our props back over to here. Now that we're nicely set. And just go back to the flight plan, and God, I love the Garmin 750. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I can just do this. Click on that. Click on waypoint information. Click on frequencies. Well, I don't think we're going to have AWOS. No, I bet you this is just the Unicom channel. Probably. Yeah, nothing. Alright, let's see where the winds are coming from. If not, we're just going to have to eyeball it. Alright, let's see if there's any weather anywhere near here. Wow. No. 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 Wow. Anywhere, Bueller, any place remotely similar, any place with any weather at all. no. Alright, well, we'll just have fun with it. God, I do like this plane though. It has just a rare quantity of soul and character. It's also pretty damn well equipped. I mean, a radio altimeter, an ADF here. Doesn't have an RMI. An RMI would be nice. And the other thing that would be nice that I don't see is a formal DME. I'm just looking around here. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't close our cowl flaps. And I don't have any keys bound for it, so we're losing a little speed here, but hey, we're keeping the engines cool. This is neat. You click on this, quiets things down as if you're on phones. Of course, you get, wow, Boobsy Handsworth here, and the Phantom Texter. God, she's got a large head. And there's some creepy-looking guy behind. There he is. Oh yeah, creepy Mc5 o'clock shadow there. Wow, this ortho scenery is great. We are going to clear these mountains. Luckily, we are VFR. I do not have an airfield elevation, and I do not have a pressure. Let's do this now. I'm just going to go into I bet you nav is for the GPS and Omni is for the for the VOR. We've got a nav source, so you can pick between nav 1 and nav 2 to drive the autopilot, which is very convenient. It means you can set up a GPS arrival and then switch over to ILS on either side if you really want to, although there's no glide slope on this side. But I mean, you can mix things up like that, however you choose to do it, probably less ineptly than I just described it, but you know what I mean. I do not, however, see a DME, and a DME would be nice. A DME would be nice. Not now, because we're not on a DME, but a DME nonetheless would be nice. Right, so let's just hop into heading mode, and let's see how well it takes our advice here. Okay, turn a few degrees this way. Now let's see if it settles out. It still oscillates a bit. That's too bad. Yeah, it's still, you see it's still oscillating here. Why that is. It's probably again due to my controls. Here, let's do this since we're on autopilot. Let's disconnect the yoke again. You haven't lived until you've started and gotten halfway through a takeoff roll, and you realize when you pull back that your yoke is disconnected and it's not really doing anything. All right, let's try it now. Okay, so we plug in about 2 degrees. Now let's see if it oscillates. It still oscillates. I wonder if it does that in the real one. I can't imagine it does. That's interesting. Alright, well. Get back at nav and see if it oscillates there. Well, that could be a flight model problem because it seems like when you turn here, it works just fine. So I don't know. But before I forget, let me reconnect the yoke, because otherwise I'm going to disconnect the autopilot and all hell's going to break loose. Meantime, let's brief our arrival, such as it is. We're going to the airport itself is tucked in, you see, into a bowl on the left-hand side. There's probably enough room to, if you have to go mist, to make the turn, but it might be that we just go up the river valley and then come back for another pass at it. Let's just see if I can get some airport information here. I have my doubts, but let's see. 6S9, there it is. Alright. So it is grass. It is... Airport elevation is 1,200 feet. There's a slope. It's 2,630 feet. Turf in good condition. Alright, alright, alright. Trees in the approach area to 3-1. And trees, runway 13. So... Gosh, alright, well, this could be fun, and there's a little bit of ex-enviro weather mischief here going on, which might mean that as we descend down into here, we end up getting, alright, so we're just clipping the military airspace right now. It could be that we descend into some grunge. In which case we could be SOL. Ah, beautiful looking flying though. Wow. All right. Let's try going down. Let's see, how far can I go down? Yeah. Well, you know what? I think we'll fly up the river valley, so let's just quickly descend down to... let's see if you can preset this pitch down. Probably not. Okay, get out of altitude. Hold, and no, you can't, so it reverts to where you had it. This doesn't animate either. It's hard to tell how much you pitch down, but let's try that, shall we? There we go. And in a second, I'll probably pop into heading mode and just fly the river here. Worst comes worst, I'll fly the damn airplane mode, which is perfectly fine with me. Also, we'll see how our TAWS, how well our TAWS works. Because this is going to start to get jumpy. Up on 11 miles out. I think it's probably around this bend right about there, if I had to guess, if I were a gambling man, a rambling gambling man. Prettiness. True beauty. Yikes. That's just like creepy. There's a phenomenon in psychology called the uncanny, like that, the Uncanny Valley. And it basically, the proposition is this: people's response to lifelike figures increases when they go from like being an utter and complete cartoon character as they get closer and closer to being fully human looking. But once they get really almost fully human looking but not quite, then the acceptance of them drops, and it's things like this. And that graph, that area, is called the Uncanny Valley. And I'll show you. And basically that's why clowns creep people out and so on, because they look like people but they're not. Here we go, Uncanny Valley. So a toy robot might be here, some Japanese puppet might be here, a human is all the way up here, the Uncanny Valley is down here, and that includes things like, if they could possibly exist, a moving corpse. And if you look at this, you'll see it kind of looks like a moving corpse. And apparently this stems from, let me just pull down the power a little bit and send us a bit more. What this stems from is our aversion to dead bodies. And so anything that kind of sort of maybe resembles a dead body basically falls into the Uncanny Valley. Now our airfield elevation is 1,200 feet. And just for yucks, I'm going to drop that right in there just so that... Oh, I'm sorry, it's not 1,200 feet. Duh. AGL, it's 1,200 feet. MSL, so all I can do is keep an eye on the altimeter. Let's see how far away we are. All right, we're only 3 miles, so I'm just going to take the airplane here. And, oh no, 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 don't crash now. This is going to crash. This is going to crash. Oh no. Rat bastard. One more, come on. Stay with me. Ah, thank goodness. Alright, got a bad tile there. It's loading Seattle scenery. Alright, let me just disconnect all this. And let's just ascend here. Still loading scenery. Trying to. It's loading up a tile. We're right on the border from one tile to another. That's too bad. All right. So the big question is, that the field? I don't think... Oh, we're a slideshow. No. Oh, please, no. Oh, my hard drive is going crazy here. Alright, I think we'll be okay. No, I think the airport is right around here. But we'll overfly it in any case. It's pretty carefully hidden as well, so... Okay, we're coming up on, there we go, we're 2,000 feet above the field. I believe the airport is right in there, but we'll take a look. I don't know why it's complaining about my Seattle airports, but... drag acid in here. Oh, that's not it. Just get 1,000 feet AGL. Retrim here. I'm gonna get a notch of flaps in. Just because. Oh, cut it out. It's warning about avoiding flap damage. Alright. Now, let's go looking for our airport. Is it around the... Oh, there it is. Okay. There it is. All right. See how it's nestled in here? All right, let's get our gear out. And let's get our second launch of flaps. Maybe we won't overfly the field. Let's just see. Is that the airport? No. It's not the airport. Alright, coming to 1,000 feet right now. I'm just going to hug the side of the mountain and look for our airport. It should be near the road. That would stand to reason. And this is very discouraging, and it's also very dangerous. Have I missed the airport entirely? Oh, I hope not. This is not the place I want to be. I think I missed the airport. Ah, shit. I've got my gear down. I've got my... flaps down. This is not a good place to be. And I'm at altitude. Or density altitude. I'm in the frickin' mountains. Great. Alright, let's climb on out of here gingerly. Gingerly bring up the flaps. Build a little airspeed. Stay at blue line or above. Oh, and is there any place I can even turn here? Alright, up come the flaps. We got some speed. I don't want too much speed because I'm going to have to make a turn in a second. That's where we are. Yeah, we missed the field. Of course we missed the field. Alright, so I'm going to hug this side of the mountain and I'm going to turn around this way, taking advantage of the fact that I can come and descend from here, so I can make a steeper turn from here to here because I will be keeping my alpha nice and low, and if necessary I'll just hook the nose down, but that's a little bit troubling. Ooh, man, that's ugly. Alright, let's see if I can do it. I'm going to take advantage of that little notch there, because if I can't make the turn, I'll bail out through that ridge there and turn around there. Alright, round we come. Full power. Shit, can't see. Pulling some G's here, coming around, and I should be able to do it. I'm in a descent. Yeah, I'm fine. Alright, cool. Alright, well, having done that, let's see if we can actually find our airfield. And again, I'm not going to be in the middle of these valleys because it limits the turning radius, if need be. I bet your airfield is right there. I must have flown right past it. Alright, let's just come back down to reasonable altitude. I hate to cheat using this, but I'll take anything I can get here. Wow, look at that mountain lake. Holy crap, this is beautiful. Keep around 15 pounds in here. And is that the field right there? Oy. Let's try again. And that is. All right. Now, there's supposedly fewer obstacles here, but I don't think I'm going to be configured in time. No, there's no way I'm going to be configured in time. But now, wait a minute, that's not the airport. You know, do I have the airport installed? I'll just stay at Blue Line here. Is that the field right there? Holy crap, if that's the field right there. I'm not going to land on it yet, but it sure is nice to know. Idea. Letting myself get too slow here. I really see no airport. And yet, we're not there yet. Alright, well I will be able to get configured in time, in which case let me just... flaps all the way down. Get our speed back up. Gear is down, 3 greens, props are full, fine. 1.4 miles, that should be it right there. Yes, okay, good. Alright, wow. Oh, there are just a few obstacles here. This is fucking intimidating. I'm probably too fast. Aye. Alright, we're going to go around, and we're going to actually do that right. I got scared. Wow. Alright, this is going to be good. Let's come in from the other direction. Okay, there's our landmark right there. Alright, now at least we know what we're looking for, and I'm getting too slow again. Alright, we'll turn around at this, the mouth of this lake. Wow, this is not for the faint of skills, which means I have some practicing to do. This is a pretty damn fun place to fly. Alright, do I have turning radius? Not really. Okay, we're at 1,000 AGL. That's how slowly I'm climbing here. It is kind of magnificent, though. I wonder why my Seattle airports aren't showing up right. Alright, we'll level off here. 1,300 AGL. Do I have room? Yeah, I think I have room. Alright, let's pretend we're not scared of this mountain here. And mountain flying is different also because you don't have a natural horizon. Alright, it wants the flaps up, and I don't give a shit. We're not ruining the flaps from that. We're not going that fast. Get the gear down. I'm spoiled by the Baron, which lets you bring those mighty flaps down at... Alright, so there's our landmark right there again, right about there. Lets you bring the flaps down at 152 knots. And the gear as well. Alright, so I got into a little pilot-induced oscillation. I wish this little crosshair thing would go away. What the hell that is. Alright, so gear down. Flaps to approach. Props full, fuel pumps on. Alright, 1,000 feet above the field. I'm going to stay here until I can see the field. We'll retrim for the speed too. So you notice my little nose oscillations? That's my controls, and I'm still getting the measure of it. I don't want to come in too much faster than this. You saw the problem I had the last time. Alright, so there's our strip. Alright, now we know what we're about here, so let's just get going, get fully configured, like so. And I am going to drag it in a little bit. It's not safe, but it is the will of Landru. No idea what that means. It's an old Star Trek episode. We'll try to do our version of a grass short field landing, which means hold the nose off as long as possible. Just getting in a little slip here to slow us down. I have to do a little jog around these trees. Alright, there we go. A little power, a little trimming, a little chink to the right. And there we are. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. Hold it off, and look at that. Get those flaps up for better breakage. Alright, that wasn't too bad, so let's see what it looked like. Switch to a tower. There is a tower view. Alright, well, good. Alrighty, let's see. Option R. That is frickin' terrifying. Look at that. Alright, there we go. I'll just pick it up right here. My God, it's beautiful though. Look at that. And keep the nose wheel up. Maximum drag, minimum bumpage, and there we are. There we have it. Up come the flaps. Not even exciting. Well, exciting. Alright, let's... Ah, what the hell's that? I got like weird hands in the cockpit here. That's my hands. Ah! That's creepy. What the hell is that? That's me wearing like a plaid shirt and jeans. That's really highly fucked up. All right, we have to do away with that. That's just not right. Wow. Yeesh. Stop it. Cut it out. All right, do it from here. So not a paragon of a stabilized approach, but and just a little slower than blue line. This airport is really not meant for this plane. Come in below the glide path and then lift it up. And look at that. Sweet and meaty. Do it one more time. I'm sure we clipped that tree, but let's just be sure. Did we clip the tree? Oh, I'm sure we did. No, yes. We threaded ourselves through the branches. I would say that's just, I mean, come on, that's amazing piloting. What else could it be? Raw coincidence? Come on. What are you kidding? This is just a great plane to fly, and you know what let's do? Let's see if we can go back out here. Let's just go back out to the other airport around here and see if we can land there. Let's see, that's what, Lake Chelan? I bet you it is. Let's see, S10. Let us see, can we reverse the flight plan? I'll bet you we can. Invert. Boom! Look at that. Oh. You have to love it. So let's just go back and try that. So let's see, our fuel pumps are still on. Manhands is still with us. Do I do full flaps or do I do not? I think this may call for full flaps. Do a little version of the Southwest taxi. I think we've got enough fuel. Although barely. I've got a lot of fuel. Well, this could be hinky. I don't have the table with me, but I can't. We're going against the wind too, but all right. Well, we're gonna break all the rules. This is gonna be somewhat stupid. Let's just see if Darwin wins or loses here. Such a honey of a plane. I just feel like flying it more. All right, around we go. shall we see what we can do? All right, so we've got a little bit of wind from our left. Just briefly, oh, God, from our left hindquarters, this is going to be really funky. All right, if there's any way to bail, the way to bail is obviously to the left. Nothing to do except to come down in trees. All right, go back full rich. All right, I'm going to try and pick up the nose as early as I can. Get a full head of steam to begin with. All right, ooh, this could be ugly. That light. There we go. Alright, stay in the ground effect here. Build some speed, and oh, this is why. Just get above VMC. Just barely touching the controls here. Very, very unwise. Alright, well that is, it's not an airport this plane would operate out of in real life. It just simply would not. But that is the way you do it. You normally need a little bit more nose down time to build some speed, such as now. The flaps, fine. We're under a body of water, which is at least good. All right, there we go. And now we can also just ease off the hot sauce a little bit here. And I should have leaned a little bit on the ground, but not much. All right. Down come the props. And up comes the sun, and out goes the itsy bitsy spider, and Jesus, look at that creek up there. That's beautiful. Parts of this country are amazing. And now with the turbulence off, this plane just flies. Look at this. This is hands off here. I'm just totally hands off. Nice and stable. It's trimmed for that speed. It's going at that speed. It is sticking to that configuration. Let's see what kind of roll stability it has. It probably has neutral to positive, but let's see. So we'll upset it. And it's got ever so slight positive stability. See how it's just creeping back? Give it another little shove there. No, this is just a raw pleasure. This is just wonderful. Alright, so we're going to fly up this river valley, and it is going to be beautiful. Flaps are up. It's loading that other tile. Hope it doesn't gag again. There's that beautiful alpine lake. I know not alpine because these are the Rockies, but you know what I mean. No, these aren't. These are the Cascades. These are some fancy-ass beautiful mountains. That's what they are. Without the turbulence, let's see if we can trim this nicely. Let it pick up some speed and trim down into it a little bit. I wonder what the real life practice is. I haven't really been spoken to an instructor about that, to trim out a plane when you level off its speed up, whether you Or do you hold it as the forces build until you get to the speed you want and then trim out? I should ask. It's an obvious thing not to know. But I'm doing it right now by just holding it at 0 rate of climb attitude and just pushing more and more and more as the speed goes up. And then when it settles the way I want, I just trim to get rid of the forces. I guess that's not unreasonable. Still a little bit nose back on my trim, nose up. It's easier in a real plane. Ironically, it's also pretty easy. I did some flying from the right seat. It's actually easy using on the Arrow. It's got a trim knob right down there, and it's kind of easy just flying it with one hand and using the big trim wheel to kind of crank the pressure off. So I'd imagine up there works similarly. It doesn't seem like it would. It seems like really weird. It's sort of like it's like the Twin Otter has got throttles right on the roof, but I'm sorry, it's a turboprop engine. It's got power levers, but you know what I mean. All right, where are we? We are. Oh, you know what I could have done here? Flight plan. Hold the sucker down right there. 1, 2. There you go. Buckle my shoe. And we're 30 miles away. So the airport is at the river confluence with the Columbia River, and make a left. So fly to the Columbia, hang a Louis, and we're there. And S10, it's probably another funky thing. Just gonna briefly just get our oh, a little oscillation. All right, well, disconnect that. Interesting. I'm going to put it into roll hold. Oh, you know what? No, I didn't have it. Oh. Let's try it again. Okay, pitch hold. And roll. No, it still wants to do that. Does it think it's in heading mode? I don't think so. Let's just find out. I'm monkey around with that in the mountains, but heading. Oh, look at that. Hey. Why is it doing that? Let's see if it settles out. I'm just going to flirt with the edge of this mountain here. Alright, no, it's not. What am I doing wrong? Alright, let me just get out of this predicament. Christ. Again. Okay. Let's see if it'll unoscillate. Let's just see. I think I know what the problem is. Let me fix it. I know what the problem is. Put it in a separate heading and roll and all the rest mode, and it is still governed by this. So this is pilot error here. Just put it in roll mode with nothing. Okay, now there we go. And now if you plug in heading, well, let's get the heading so it isn't flying us into a mountain. now, if you put in heading, it should, well, it's still gonna, oh, God. It really gets a little exuberant there. Well, maybe not. And it oscillates. No, this is not. I mean, look at that. I mean, I know that autopilot's their time, not perfect, but let's see if it, shit. We're going in the mountains. All right, hang on. Let's just fix our heading a little bit. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to wait one more second, and then I'm going to take the airplane. Okay, that's unsafe. What the hell is up? I wonder if you just have to get it lined up first, stabilize it yourself, and then just have it sort of lock on. So let's do that. Put the heading bug right there. It still flounders around a lot. Sorry for making you sick here. I just want to see if this behavior damps out, whether it just continues to feed into itself. It looks like it just feeds into itself. Suppose it'll damp out when it crashes the sim. Alright, well. Let's see what the roll off it does anything. No, it just drifts. Alright, well, shit, I don't know. The loss, actually. That's too bad. It's got to be something I'm doing wrong. I must be screwing something up. It wouldn't be the first time. All right. It's not my yoke, apparently. Just adjust the rudder trim a little bit. Maybe it's that. No, it can't be that. Is it that? Alright, let's try it one more time. So we'll line up our heading bug. And engage the servo. Oh, it can't be that sensitive to... Is it really that sensitive to the yaw condition? Is this our airport, by the way? Probably not. Our airport's probably right there. Alright, now let's just see what happens. See, we're still oscillating. You see we're wobbling here. Alright, so just come a few degrees to our left. Over some beautiful farmland. Alright, well, it just is... No. It's just oscillating like crazy. Well, screw that. Meantime, I really wanted that in because I want to check S10. Well, it is nicely trimmed in pitch, that's for sure. Alright, Lake Chillin. 1263, 3500 runway asphalt. ATIS. No. Automated Unicom. Left-hand pattern. Alright, let's see if there's any info on this. I am in love with this. No. Okay. Right for 02, left for 20. Alright, so it's probably right about there. You know what? I never turned off my fuel pumps. That's great. Let's come up here. We'll hook a left up the river. Get some power out. And start to look around for an airport-like object. Kind of dive bombing in here, I know. Some beautiful looking terrain, that's for sure. Come down around here, field elevation, give or take. Use that to slow us down. Feed in some power here so we don't fall out of the sky in this turn. And start looking for the field. So it's a left-hand pattern for 20. So we can come in along the river and we can turn around and land on 20. That would work. Oh, we got some scenery anomalies here. Oh, shit. I will betcha. I wonder if the airport is up on that ridge. I bet you it is. I bet you that's the airport right there. Is it? Looks like an airport. Unless it's a fake airport. Fake news. Alright. I know. Let's get into a 45 degree for the downwind here. I'm assuming it's downwind too. See if I can see a windsock too. Can't tell. All right. We will wing it, so to speak. Ooh, I can see why it's a right-hand pattern for 02. Alright, we'll keep looking for the windsock here. Can't see. Alright, well, skip that. Gear down. Approach flaps. Very bad flying here. Look at my speed. Look at that. I was about to turn to final with that speed. You know what that would have done? We would have gone splat. Alright, so I'm just going to extend that leg out a little bit so we don't go splat. Wow. That's bad. You see, I've done, we call this the Martian Maneuver. This is the overshoot to turn to final, and look, overshoot and underspeed. That's a good way to fall out of the sky. Kids, don't try that at home. Do not do what I just did. That was abysmal. That really was. Should maintain blue line until you know you've made the runway, and certainly for maneuvering. Boy, this airplane feels good in the flare. It really does. Alright, we're going to call it a night right here. This is a nice little airstrip. I have to remember this. Chillin' at Chillin'. Look at that. Very nice looking airstrip. That was just an abysmal landing. That was, if that were any more abysmal, they would be selling it in pink bottles and calling it Pepto. I have no idea what that means. Anyway. There's a little click spot. I don't know why that does that. But should have turned the avionics off first. I mean, all this stuff. I'm just really very, very, very poor form here. Boom, boom, boom. And let's see, what have I forgotten? I have to focus on this and see if I can isolate what's going on, and if it really is something that's a problem with the plane, get back to vFlyte Air with it. I'm just gonna have to let the Uncanny Valley lady out. I hope she'll take the hint. Come on, out. Oh, out with you. Both of you. All of you, get out. Well, not a bad day's flying. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm such an idiot. Hold on a second. Let me just... Jesus, I hate when I do that. That is really crass. I knew I forgot something. There we go. That's better. I will let vertical stabilizer wave goodbye as I bid you a fond farewell from a lovely little strip here in Idaho. And hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.